Ah, welcome traveler. Come in, take a seat and put up your feet. Today, we're diving into a game called Foundation, a gridless medieval city building game, where we will be cooking up some roleplay to enhance the gameplay. This is part 2 in our multi-part series, and if you'd like to see more of this, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let's get cooking. And here we are, back in our settlement. Previously, we'd gone ahead and set up the housing district over here, a little well with a marketplace. We have a manor and a small church, and a small area over here for industry and storage. Now, our territory is still very small, as you can see from this yellow outline, and there is a lot we want to dive into today. So we do have quite a lot that we still need to do here. You see the quests have popped up, and we definitely have to look at getting more money. So what we're going to do in today's episode, firstly, most importantly, we're going to come in here at progression, and we're going to unlock butchering. This is quite important because this is going to give us access to hunting and then turning those captured animals or hunted animals into meat, and meat is a more refined food that can be used to feed our villagers to make them happier. Alternatively, and this is where the important thing comes in, is that if we go to trading, we can actually see that this first trade route that we unlock with Northbury, they will actually buy meat from us. So if we can hunt boars and process it into meat, we can sell this at 1 piece of meat for 3 coins. Quite profitable if we can actually set this up correctly. So next what we're going to do is, before we've even unpaused the game, we're going to come in here and we're going to discuss a levy with the villagers. And what this essentially does is it squeezes your villagers for a little bit of extra gold. So in this case we're going to get 111 extra gold from this. And then we'll just quickly let the game run for a bit, and there we go. Now I've just gone ahead and paused it again. Now the thing is, what we can also do is we can go here to the royal book, go to taxation, and increase our taxes a little bit. I'm going to increase it just to the first stage of the orange bar over here. The higher that this goes, the more unhappy our people will be, but I want a little bit more of a gold income to come through with taxation to cover our losses. So what I'm going to do now, with the game still paused, is going to go to the territory, and I'm going to purchase these 2 areas over here. I think that this will work quite nicely for a hunting ground setup. You can set up a permanent area over here, or semi-permanent until we can find a very good location for hunting that will serve quite nicely. Let's have a look at this. Okay, here they want us to produce 1 different refined food, so that would be the meat, and then fill the food need for the serfs, because we're going to take that quest up. Now, I have been thinking a little bit about hunting, so we are obviously going to set that up there, but in the far future, once we've set up our city on this island over here, we're actually going to come and set up hunting on this island, so we'll have a whole island just for hunting. And I think that will look quite nice if we go over there in the map. Let's go a little bit further north so we can discuss this. There we go. So what we'll have is we'll have an island here for hunting. We'll have our city set up over here. Perhaps a castle on the smaller island. And then perhaps on the mainland to the north or the south. I think perhaps to the north. We'll have the monastery set up here somewhere. And then over here we'll have our farmlands and our mining industry. So I think that'll be quite a nice setup overall. But right, let's get back to what we're going to do over here. So we've just purchased these 2 territories. So we're going to come into the residential. Going to paint a little bit larger. Let's just grab this here, and we're going to go around. And I'm just going to designate all this to be marked as housing, so that our villagers can actually come in and start increasing the housing space. Very important, because they're going to need that space as our population grows larger and larger. We may have cut a bit too much into that now. Let's just go check here. Let's just free that up again. I like to keep it nice and neat. And then what we can also do is we can just go ahead and start setting up an additional marketplace over here, because we'll want to be selling that meat that we're going to be hunting and processing. Just a normal little market. And then we'll come over here and we'll set up two hunters' huts, sorry. We'll set one up over roundabouts. Actually, we'll set up one. Let's see. We'll probably go ahead and clear out from about here down. So we'll set one up over here and one over there. Yes, I think over there should be fine. So we'll do that. And we're just going to keep an eye on these. Where is the other one now? I think I've actually gone ahead and lost it. Ah, no, there it is. Okay, great. So we'll just keep an eye on those while they're building. And then what we can go do is set up a butcher shop as well. So a butcher, just to process the meat itself. Let's have a look here at what this building actually looks like and what would be a nice orientation for it. I think perhaps this way. Yeah, I think this way around looks quite nice. We'll go ahead and set that up there. We'll just throw this down here. Keep an eye on that once that's built. I think that will look quite nice. And then I also want to come in and build another one of these, the stonemason's huts. Because I do want to make use of that polished stone in actually selling it off, trading it off, and making money from that. So we're going to go ahead there. We don't actually have enough money for that at the moment, unfortunately. 25 gold. We're leaking 19 a month, and we only have 10. So that's okay. That will just, for the time, just stay there, and then we will eventually purchase that properly. But right, let's get into actually getting this hunting set up. Speed this up a little bit. We'll get our hunters set up. We'll get our butchers set up. And then we can actually have things build nicely. What I may also want to do ahead of time before it actually comes back to bite us is just go in, set up a granary for the meat itself. I'm just going to come in and throw this down here. It just costs 10 gold, so we can actually afford this one. And I'm going to go ahead and just throw in 2 workers here so long. Now, something to also keep in mind is to go here to the Royal Book and to actually mark over here by our resources, to just always make sure that you are actually marking things to sell. So I want to sell everything in excess of 100 of the meat. And once we get things up and running, that will actually come in quite quickly, and we can start selling that off for 3 gold per piece of meat. So do always remember that as you are unlocking new resources, to go back through all the way here to your trade routes, check out which ones do actually buy things from you and what's available from them as well if you have the excess gold, but more importantly what you can actually sell to them, and making sure that you are marking that to be sold, and then also making sure that you have a granary or a warehouse that can actually hold those items, because you cannot sell from the building that produces it. It has to be sold from a storehouse itself properly. Right, so we're still going to just let things run a bit here. Still quite a bit of building that needs to happen. And what we can actually go ahead and do as well is to just increase our, there we go, lumber area a bit. Cut down all the trees in our residential area here. And then I may also go in and just start cleaning, I think, let's see here, from probably about here. Just like that. Actually, just come do a straight line. There we go. I want that to also be chopped away, because we'll actually be making use of this land here very soon. Right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and tidy things up a bit here. I may also come in and actually remove this piece here, because we do have some other stone over here that we can constantly be mining, and I want to make use of this space for something else. Let's have a look at this. Okay, I'm not going to take this because it's essentially making it that I'll have to pay them back 200 gold for 25 of these tools. Not worth it in my opinion, so we're just going to say no thank you for the time being. We'll pick it up later if need be. Let's check this out. So our butchery can now actually take some workers. We'll assign 2 to that. And our hunters' huts still need to be built. So I'm just going to go in and actually set them as a priority. They'll get built and we'll start making things really soon. We'll be right back once all of this is done. So this is actually taking quite a bit of time. So I think what we're going to do is actually come here to our lumberjack or the lumber camp. It's quite far away from any trees that it's trying to chop down at the moment. So I think what we're going to do is just come in and actually have it moved to over here. Perhaps, yes, I think over there should be fine. Just so that they can come in and start clearing away trees a lot easier. The only thing is that we do need some gold to make this happen, which is a bit of an issue. But our levy mandate is down to -8%, so we can actually come in again, select the mandate, and do another levy. Get some more gold out of our people, squeeze them for a little bit extra, just for the time being. Eventually we won't have to do that. We'll be generating enough of our own gold. But unfortunately for the time being, we are going to have to rely on getting that cash out of our people. On the good news though, on the bright side, we can at least use that gold for good things. For example, making sure we can get this mason's hut built as well now. And we can also have a look quickly at the progression tab if there's anything else that we really need. But I do know that this over here actually is going to require us to expand on the lumber camp. So we might as well go over there and just unlock it for the time being, just to get that done. Right, well, we'll let things run a little bit and we'll be back. Hopefully, when we're back this time, this will actually be finished. And there we go. We are now done. Both of our hunters' huts are finished, as well as our granary. So we're going to come in here and assign 2 people to each of these huts. Then we're going to go over to our zones here and we're going to set this whole region here to be just for hunting. You can see that there's little boar icons over here, the little boars, and that will actually indicate how good of a hunting zone something is. Now, if something is very badly, allocated towards hunting, if it has a very bad population of boar, don't worry too much about that. You can actually come in with a forester and have them come in and plant new trees, and that way you can have the boar population build up again and improve, which is actually exactly what we're going to be doing, because we are actually coming in and removing some of these trees that are inside our residential area, and I want to replace the trees that we didn't even start off with over here. You see there's like a gap here that there's no trees in. What we'll come and do is plant some more trees in here, and it'll actually provide us with a little bit more boar around this area to hunt and increase our food stocks. So I'm just going to come in here and mark this down, and then just clean up a little bit where I've painted. So I'm a little bit of a stickler for that attention to detail. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. So they'll come in, they'll hunt that over here in our hunting forests. And then what we can do in the meantime is allocate some more people to the granary and actually come in here and do 2 slots for boars and 2 slots for meat. Now we already have meat over here allocated in our marketplace, so that will slowly start filling up. And then also in our resources here, the meat is allocated to be sold if it's in excess of 100. We may increase this amount later on down the line, depending on our population, but 100 is good for now, in my opinion. What we may also do, though, is we are going to look at an additional gathering hut, because I want to get some more berries going. So I'm going to build that. Oh, our mason's also done. That's fantastic. So we're now producing twice as many of the polished stone, which is good. Some more people have joined. Yeah, I think this is looking good. What we do need to do, though, is come in and get a forester's hut down. We're just going to throw one down over, I think, over here. That should be fine. And we'll build it as soon as we get up to... Yeah, we're actually going to have to generate coins this time. Our housing is becoming inefficient. So as we can see, we have 4 houses currently building here. And we will very quickly actually need to start expanding this. Now, instead of making this area bigger, because I want this to be a small little controlled farm area, we're going to look at unlocking this territory over here and setting up another little housing district over here. And the people that live here will be focusing mostly on working over here in the industrial and storage area, as well as what will eventually be our mining area. And perhaps we'll look at setting some livestock farming up here as well. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I do know that these major industries, such as hunting, what we will have for farming over here, and mining, I don't want those industries out on this island. I want this island strictly for housing and more of the industrial things that are going to be processing goods. So on the mainland, we will be getting our resources, sending them through to the island, where they will be processed into more finer things and then sold from there. But for the time being, we just have to wait for things to slowly get built. Our berry hut is ready. There we go. We can assign 2 people to that already. Start getting a little bit more of a stockpile of berries going. And hopefully our people will be kept fed and happy. So, what can we do now while we are waiting? Well, this is slowly building up. You see, we're actually at a neutral amount of income and expenses at the moment. This will slowly tick down for the time being, dependent on how many tools we have and the trader that comes in and sells to us. But this is going to start picking up very soon, as we start producing more meat. And let's have a look in the distance. There is actually a trader coming on the way. So we should see a little bit of a boost here to our money. Then we can come in, build this forester, and set this area here to be replanted. Now, another thing that you can also do in this game, as you'd seen earlier, we went into the progress here and we bought this lumber camp improvement. So that some buildings, a large percentage of them actually, have this additional feature where you can come in and instead of having to build another one of these lumber camps, we can actually come and enhance this one through these things. So we can add more workers to it and increase its internal storage and things like that. Very useful. And I think what we're going to do is actually increase this capacity by 2 instead of 1. Also go in and customize how you want this set up. I think something like that should do. And then we can get more lumberjacks going. Okay, let's have a look here. So the merchant has come in. I think we'll probably end up buying some tools from him. Okay, so there we've made 20 coins. Made another 27. And let's see if he's buying any meat. Perhaps not. I think he's actually reached his maximum that he could possibly trade. That's a good fair amount, especially seeing as we were actually going into the negative earlier. Let's see here. Thanks to you increasing trades. Right, with that accepted, we do actually still need to unlock bread. Let's have a look here. We don't actually have the wood to do this trade at the moment, so we're actually going to say not at the moment. And no, we're not accepting that quest. It's too much to pay back. The gold is ridiculous. 200 gold is insane. We are not actually currently producing bread, so we can't do this. But we will take the quest. We will fulfill this quest eventually. Actually, what we can do is we can start looking at actually doing that. We can actually look at, let's see here. We can get farming for 50. Or we can try and increase our manor house a little bit. And eventually working our way to the bailiff office. I think what we're going to do is actually save up some of our coins and expand our territory. And then we'll go ahead and unlock the farming. And this area over here that we're currently busy clearing the trees away, we can go and set up some farms all along here and have a nice big area to produce wheat, and then eventually process that into flour and make bread for our citizens and for trade. So I think we're going to do that for sure. And then what we may also do is, I think it's time that we actually start expanding into fishing as well. But in order to do that, we do also need territory that have fishing spots. So, okay, as you can see here, here's a spot that you can fish at. Here's another one. So that's 2, a possible 2. Is this within? Yes, it is. 3. A large piece of water, 4. Okay, so it's only 4. But that's fine. What we'll do is we'll set them up over here, I think. Or over here. Actually, over here. Yes, we'll set them up over here. And then our people go out and fish from all the different spots as needed. But not right now. We first want to build up that 100 coins. Come in here, purchase this territory, and then slowly start expanding our way through it. Actually, let me quickly check here. Nope, they do not want to buy fish. Okay, so we'll stick to that plan. So we'll let things run for a little bit. And hopefully we can also go ahead and clear out some more trees. Get this. We're also going to quickly come in here and build this. Our forester camp can actually be built now. And now we can start saving up properly for the territory expansion and for unlocking fisheries and farms. Right, here we are. Our forester camp is now finished. And we can actually go and assign a new forester. So that completes that little optional quest there. And as usual, this makes use of a painting system. So we're going to come in and paint this to be replanted. And we'll just cover some of this as well in case there's any open spots here. Just so we can increase the density of this forest a little bit. That should be good to go. Let's have a look here. That's exactly what we just did. Okay, fantastic. So we have our hunting area set up. Let's quickly check it out. Okay, so for the moment, there's only boar here. But as soon as this gets planted, there will be a lot more boar living in this area. And we have 2 hunters' huts as well that are actually getting us a good supply of boar that's getting processed into meat pieces. And here comes some more villagers, eager to join. There we go. We'll grab them up. And let's have a look here. All of this is done, so we can actually come in here and we're going to assign 2 more. There we go. 2 more lumberjacks or woodcutters, so we can get those trees cut down quicker. Right, so what else can we have a look at here? Well, I think that we may do some decorating of these 2 structures today, as I'm trying to get this up a little bit, this splendor level, the labor splendor in particular. So we may come in here and just do a little bit of decorating. So a weather vane, perhaps at the top of the tax office. There we go. And And let's see, what else can we do here? Maybe we add a little simple passageway. Should we add this in here? Maybe not. But what we definitely will do, though, is on the front of this, I think we're going to put in a little stable. So we'll spin this around. There we go. Put a little fence down. Let's do it that way around so we don't block it off completely. And maybe a wood shed next to it. I think that looks quite nice. Apply changes and they'll just come in and build these little decorations. No actual function, but it does increase the, as you see over here, the splendor of your buildings. Right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, this storage is full, but we do have some people over here that could be carrying this stuff. Why are you not carrying it? Ah, well, I'm sure that will resolve itself in due time. Let's have a look at what else is going on here. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. We get labor influence and tools, and more people join. And another quest to actually increase the splendor of this building. Fantastic. So we may come in and do some additional improvements here. Wrong button. Let's see here. Perhaps we go in and increase the capacity of our tax offices. Maybe that's a good idea. More tax collectors. Is that what we want? Maybe not. Maybe we will just hold back on that for the time being. Let's see here. Yeah, let's just send a builder over to go assist. 25 is how much we need to improve it. It's okay for now. We do actually need to, now that I actually look at it, we do need to get this land cleared away to get those farms set up. But let's actually look at just improving this a bit and try do this quest. Well, we'll have to do this one first. So let's come in. Ah, hang on. Let's first assign. Always make sure that as many of your people actually are employed to keep them nice and happy. So we're just going to cycle through this and check if there's anywhere that needs to be allocated. That looks good. Let's have a look here. Assign a new tax collector. Increase taxation. You don't have to tell me twice. Going to just do that and then right back again, and that completes that quest. Easy. Very easy. Right, well, let's come in and actually edit this now properly, like we've been saying we want him to do. Now I want to expand this a little bit more to provide us with more space to build in. I think we're going to go actually around the back of this. So we'll come perhaps like this, and then just raise this up. There we go. Just like that. Throw on a weather vane there and there. It's going to give us an additional 9. We actually need 25, so we need an additional, quite a bit, 16 I believe. Let's see what else we can do here. A major tower. Tempting, very tempting. I think we'll throw that down there. Raise that up a little bit. Like so. And we'll just have that built for the time being. That should be good to go. Because we do have 121 now, which means we can come in here, purchase this land, and immediately set it to be cleared of all trees. We want to make use of this wood. We don't just want to waste it by building a building over it and having it automatically removed. We actually want to cut the trees down to actually use it properly. There we go. We'll just allow this to be constructed and we'll see what our splendor sits at once this is done. And then we can come in and see what other adjustments can be made. And hopefully we can actually complete this quest and move on to the next one. Just have a look here quick. Perfect, we can actually solve it straight off. There we go. Right, so while we're waiting for this to complete, we have actually gone ahead and cleared a little bit of this land here. So what we can do is come to progression, and we're just going to unlock farming. And we can start looking at setting this up at least. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting up a little gathering over here in the middle of all the different farmhouses. And you'll understand why I do that in a minute once that's done. But then we're going to want to send all the wheat that we're growing off to a windmill, which will then in turn be sent off to a bakery once it's been produced into flour and then baked into breads. So we want to set up our windmills and bakeries reasonably close to here, and then also have a granary system set up as well, so that it can easily be collected from here, dispersed to there, and then dispersed to where we're going to have our, production set up. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and set up our granaries so long. So I think what we're going to do is set up one over here, here, and here. That should be good to go. And then hopefully this will be done really soon. We're having a little bit of a problem here with the wood not being transferred from there across. So I'm not quite sure how to resolve this other than... Oh, let's see, who's this? This is a... Okay, he's transporting it for the construction. Okay, the only other thing that I can think of actually doing is setting up a... where is it now? A warehouse over here. Just a temporary warehouse. But on the other hand, I don't necessarily want to construct something over here that is just going to be filled up with this little bit of wood, and then we're going to have to move it again. So definitely not something that I'm very keen on doing right now. But this is getting cleared away, so what we can actually do is focus a bit on setting up the wheat farms. Okay, so let's have a look at the building itself. It has two entrances, one with a small little courtyard almost in front of it, and then just one with very simplistic entrance itself. So what I'm going to do here is think of, well, these wheat farms function very much the same as the forestry, in that you construct the building and then you paint an area that it will then work in. In the case of the wheat farms, they'll actually start growing crops in those areas. You designate fields for them to grow in. So we have to think about how we want this layout. So I think we want a field that's going to be over here, and then one off to here, another one over there, and another one over there. So we maybe want something along the lines of, let's see, maybe a little bit further in. So we have one there, one there, one there, one there. That should work. Okay, great. Just going to set this down, set it to be built. And then once this is constructed, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Actually, let's just go ahead and build all four of them right now. And there we go. So what will essentially happen here is we'll have our 4 wheat farms constructed, and any expansions that we'll unlock for them will be constructed in the center here. So we'll kind of create a little square for them to be around. They already have roads coming off this way and branching through to here, which is quite nice. And then around them we'll go and build the farmland itself, spreading it out from the buildings behind them, occupying the space. There we go, our first one is constructed, so I can actually show you right now how this works. So we come in, designate as many people as possible, and then what I'm going to do is just set this, okay, it is to round, and we paint the crop field itself. So you'll notice that some of this land is red. That means it's not fertile. Very easy to make fertile. All you have to do is just cut the trees down, then the land's fertile. I know, weird, but that's the mechanic it goes with. We'll come in, just make this a little bit smaller. And we're actually going to paint this whole area here. And I know at the moment it says that this field is too large for the current amount of workers. It's not an issue because we are going to come in and trim this out. And in addition to that, we are also going to be building expansions onto this farm in due time as well. And as those expansions are constructed, it will also increase the amount of people that we can employ at the farm, as well as the amount of land that those people can actually work. But I still want to keep it nice and neat and looking good, so I will still be coming in and just trimming it a little bit. Let's see here, we push this a little bit out through to there. And finally, just do that. So we can come in and do that. There we go. Although it's kind of made a really strange little thing here at the bottom. It's fine, we'll just come in and fix that. There we go. Okay, so this will be our first field, and hopefully this lumber camp over here will come in and clear out these trees. And what I also want to do is come through to progression and actually unlock the village fences as soon as possible, because we can make use of the village fences to build around this field and just make it look a little bit nicer. Right, we're going to let things just run a little bit here, hopefully until all of these are completed. But in the meantime, our granaries have been constructed, and we're just going to come in and allocate each of them to have the different stages of processing these foods. So this one over here will be wheat, then flour, and then this one will be bread itself. And this way we can control the whole production of bread simply from this little region over here, and some buildings that we will construct over here as well, keeping it nice and close to the housing area so our people don't have to travel too far for work. And of course, when we come in and purchase this land and build an additional housing area here, they can look at also working here, over here where we will be having mining in the future, and then some agriculture as well here to do with animals, domesticated animals such as the sheep and cattle. Right, well, let's let things build. Let's let the trees be chopped down. And here we go. All of our farms are now built up. So all we need to do is come in and just set up our fields, and then we can start growing all the wheat that we will need. And there we go. Our farms have now been painted. All we have to wait for is for our lumberjack to come in and clear away all these trees, and for our population to grow enough that we can actually come in and assign some workers here. Now what we'll do over time is we'll come into the progression and we'll unlock this over here, the wheat farm improvements, and that will allow us to build a couple of buildings here in the center for each of the different farms. And this can actually be used then to increase the worker capacity, and then they'll come in and, for example, here you'll see it says the field is too large for the current amount of workers. Not a problem then, because we'll have more workers. They'll come in, they'll fill in the rest of this field. Right, oh, there we go. Some more people. We can come in and immediately assign them. And we can start looking at the next step. So, we do have housing insufficient popping up quite a bit now. So I actually want to come in and purchase this territory here. And we're going to set up an additional housing district over here. Just to run the basics of what we still want to accomplish here on the mainland. So I'm just going to pause this quick. So as you see there, I had the game running for a few seconds while actually setting out the district here, and already someone had gone and claimed a plot of land. So I just want to come in, set this up like that. I think eventually we'll have this curving around, probably to around here. So again, to set up my marketplace in the center, I'm going to do that. And then I'll just come in and clean up my edges a little bit. There we go. And set up a well, which will be constructed in due time, as soon as we have some more gold. Actually, oh, it's fine. We can just do another mandate, set out a levy, get the gold from the people. There we go. Construct that, and we'll also go ahead and set down some marketplaces as well. So let's have a look here. I think for the time being we'll set them up on this side. So one here, another one here, and another one here. Just 3 for the time being. As you can see over here by this market, we've already gone and readjusted the stores around a little bit. Added some more, readjusted them so they actually fit with pathways. And as we unlock decorations for the village itself, for the housing district in particular, we'll come in and just make this look a little bit nicer. But for the time being, I think that our people should be set out with everything that they need. We're just going to let things run, let our population grow, let these places get cleared away, fill up the working spots. And lastly, I think what we can actually do right now is just set up the windmills and bakeries as well. So the nice thing about this game, as I mentioned before, is that you can actually clip some of your buildings into each other. And this makes it really convenient in that you can have unique setups. So I'm going to go for something along the lines of, I think here we'll have one. And here we'll have another one. So we'll just build that. And then we'll have a bakery set up over here. So as long as you have your white arrows available, you can actually clip this building. I could clip it in that far, but it doesn't look as nice then. So I'm just going to do that. So this will be constructed. So now we have farms producing the wheat. The wheat will be taken through to the windmill. They'll produce it into flour. Flour gets sent over to the bakery. That gets turned into bread. And what we may also do is just throw down a well here as well, just so that it's easier for them to get the water to bake with. Let's set it up over there. And then we should be well on our way to producing more than enough food for all of our people. And we can slowly start doing the missions. Let's have a look here. Nope, we're not doing that one yet. We don't need tools that badly that we're willing to go into debt for it. But we do need, they're coming. We do need people to arrive to grow our population so we can actually have all these jobs filled up. Right, we'll be right back in a bit once all this is built, and hopefully these are all manned and working and our fields are growing. Our farms are now constructed, fully manned and planted. We have our lumberjack coming in just to clear this last little bit over here. And our windmills and bakeries are up and running as well. So this should be generating food for us really soon. Our second expansion of the housing district over here is also coming along very nicely. And I think that we can actually one more time come in here, select the mandate, squeeze our people for a little bit more gold. Hopefully one of the last times we'll be doing that. And then with that, we're going to jump in here and unlock fishing. And I think what we'll also grab is that, and there we go, the wheat farm improvements. So first things first, we're going to come in here, grab the fishing huts and have a look. Okay, so there are 3 fishing spots there and another 3 over there. Fantastic. Right, so we're going to look at just quickly setting this up because we want to get fishing up and running in order to provide an additional rustic food so that our people can have at least a little bit more choice and more options when it comes to their meals. Let's just have a look here. I think it's fine. We'll leave that right there. And we'll come in and build some more. Now, something to keep in mind with these fishers' huts is it just takes 1 worker. So if you want to generate quite a lot of fish, you're going to have quite a lot of these huts placed down. I'm going to go for 4. I seem to have found that this is a generally reasonably safe number to go for, between 3 to 4. And we'll just allow these to be built. And then we'll send some villagers over to go work there. In the meantime, what we're going to do while that's running through is we're just going to go to each one of these farms and we're going to check which of these additional upgrades that we just got are going to increase the amounts of people that can work at them. And I believe it is only the tooling shack. So we'll come in and throw a tooling shack down at each one of them and get some additional people working at each farm. There we go. Simple like that, and that'll increase it to 5 workers. I'm going to quickly throw this down for the other 3 farms over here and we'll be right back. Our wheat farms now have additional space. All we need to do is just come in and construct these 4 little additional add-ons. And then each of these buildings will be able to actually go in and man the amount of space that's allocated to their fields. So we're just going to wait for that to be constructed, our fisheries to be built, and for 2 more granaries to also be set up to actually accommodate the fish and bread that is being produced now. Right, well, we'll let things run, and then we'll be right back once that's finished. So our farms are now cleared away, fully built. We just have a little bit of a path that popped up here that we're just trying to get rid of. These buildings have also been built, so now as our population grows, we can actually come in and increase the amount of workers. We've gone ahead and removed majority of the trees as well here, so our little village over here actually looks good. All of our mills and bakeries have been built. Our granaries that are going to supply them have also been set up. We've gone ahead and expanded this a little bit more, so now our village, our second little housing district, can start popping up and actually being built over here, which will eventually create a workforce that can work over here, here, and what we will eventually set up on this open land here. These granaries and workshops and warehouses have all been set up and done, and we have our 4 fisheries as well. So plenty of progress and things are looking really, really good. I'm really happy with the way this is looking, especially as this is only episode 2. And this, what we've built essentially here, is only going to be a small portion of what we will eventually accomplish in this playthrough. We're basically just trying to set up the foundations, pun intended, for the industries that will eventually carry us across onto this island, where we will build a mighty city. But that is all the time we have for today's episode. We've accomplished a lot, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as that would greatly help the channel. If you would like to be kept updated as to new videos being released, then please hit that notification bell. If you have any feedback, suggestions or requests, leave a comment down below and let us know. Until next time, this is Roast Temp. Keep cooking.